Next up is the campaign goal. All right, the goal is the number of shirts you must sell in order for the design to be printed. All right, if you don't hit the goal, which is the number of shirts you chose, the design does not print and customers are refunded, no cost to you. In actuality, they're not even charged. There's a pending pre-authorize the card, but they don't actually charge the card until the design reaches its goal. Once that happens, they charge the card immediately, okay? So if your goal is not met, the customers are notified and their card is not charged and you don't have to do anything. There's no cost, there's no penalty, no nothing. Now, the goal also affects the cost per shirt that you pay. Quantities of scale are at play here. The more shirts that you set at your goal, the more shirts that get printed, the lower your cost per shirt. If you do a very few number of shirts, then your cost per shirt is going to be much higher. Let's say you do a goal of 10 shirts. Your cost per shirt is going to be significantly higher than somebody who did that same design with a goal of 100 shirts. Now, when it comes to setting your goals, all right, if you set, most people are going to say, well, hey, I'm just going to set a super high goal so that I get the cheapest possible shirt. Well, that makes sense to some extent, but on the flip side of it, if you set too high of a goal, it can also scare away sales. Because on your offer page, it's a crowdfunding offer page, so it says 0 of 20 shirts, 0 of 100 shirts sold. When it shows that, let's say your goal is to sell 100 shirts and you haven't sold any yet. It still says 0 of 100. Well, that may scare someone away from buying because they read the page and they're like, well, heck, they're not going to hit their goal, so there's no point in me putting my money into this pot. So you have to judge your goal. I'll help you figure out how to do this once we get more into it. But you need to figure out the magic number for your goal. You don't want to be too greedy and set it too high to scare off sales. You don't want to set it too low because that will cost you money. You know, it's a juggle, but I'll give you some really good guidelines to help you do it right. Now, the cool thing is you can adjust your goal up or down by contacting Teespring support. And I have a whole bunch of training that's really cool. I'm going to give you on that in the advanced tactics. So I'm not going to get into deep of it right now, but just know that you can adjust the goal. Someone's asking, if my goal is 10 shirts and I wind up selling 200 shirts, will they automatically adjust my goal to 200? No. You will still pay the cost per shirt price as if you had only sold 10. You will still receive profit for 200 shirts, but your profit margin will be much smaller because your cost per shirt price is based off the 10 shirt goal. So that's why you want to adjust your goal selectively as needed and make sure you try to choose the right goal from the get-go. It sounds like it's going to be a deal breaker, guys, but it's not. I promise you. There's a lot of loopholes and ways to manipulate this to not only boost your sales, but make sure you do make money. Here are some uptake percentages. These are the Teespring niche shirt sale examples, okay? This is niche data on sales versus audience size from one campaign, okay? So this data comes from one campaign in each of these various niches, okay? So this is not an all-inclusive percentage. I just took some examples to show you. Example number 1 is the Beagle niche, all right? I spelled Beagle wrong. Fan page size is 20,500 people. The uptake was 0.5%, okay? So 0.5% of 20,500 people bought the shirt in that 7-day campaign. Now, did all 20,000 people see the shirt? Probably not. So those numbers are actually a little bit higher, but these are the on-average numbers for a campaign. In the Second Amendment niche, 48,900 fans, a 1.64% uptake rate. Uptakes meaning the number of people that bought a shirt from that campaign, okay? Example number 3 is a gun lover niche. Fan page, 278,000 people, 1.56% uptake rate. Example number 4, 15,000 in the coffee fans niche, people who love coffee, 0.9%, almost 1% uptake. Example 5, writing for profit, the writer's niche, okay? Fan page size, 2,500 with a 1.9% uptake, okay? So you can see you don't have to have a massive fan base. And even if you don't, obviously this is off of a fan page, but it's the best way I can give you stats to estimate uptake on a campaign. Yes, I created this graph. Fan page size, 90,000, video games, all right? 1.1% uptake. Okay, 1.1% of the 90,000 fans bought the shirt for that single campaign. Now this, again, guys, this is not broad-ranging, all-inclusive data from all the campaigns run in each one of those niches. No. This is data from one campaign. In one campaign in each niche. Now again, these aren't hard and fast numbers, but these are some examples that you can get you thinking in that direction. Now, let's take those numbers, and now it's time to talk about goal estimating. So we need to determine what your goal is going to be, all right? First off, how are you going to promote it? The bigger your audience reach, the more you will sell, okay? If you have a big fan page, you can probably get away with having a larger goal. If your fan page is really small, then maybe you need to start with a smaller goal. Or if you're going to be doing paid advertising and you're not sure of where you're going to be yet, maybe you need to judge in the middle. Maybe you need to kind of pick a middlingly high goal, or not too high but not too low kind of a goal, and base it on that. But since some of you guys are going to be doing this for the first time, a good rule of thumb to follow is 0.5% to a 1.5% of your audience size will buy your shirt. Okay, so figure out what your audience size is going to be, or your estimated audience size. It doesn't have to be exact. Get a rough idea of that, and then go on the low end. Say 0.5% of the people are going to take me up on it. All right. Once you actually have some data, once you've run a campaign, a couple of campaigns on your own, do the math, okay, and reevaluate your numbers and see what your actual uptake rate is based on your shirts. Now, each shirt will be a little bit different because it appeals to a different type of the audience and different demographic and things like that. But if you average those together, you will get some real data. Important things to remember when it comes to goal estimating. All right, number one, be optimistic, but don't be greedy, okay? Don't set that goal way too high, all right, because you might scare people away. Remember, you can always evaluate and adjust your goals as you go. So in the middle of your campaign, you can either raise it or lower it as needed. Now here's another thing. Let's say you pick a goal of, say, 50 shirts, and midway through your campaign, you've only sold 10, all right? Teespring is automatically monitoring the various campaigns. They want your shirts to go to print too, because that means they make money and you make money, right? So if Teespring's algorithm thinks for some reason that your shirt is not going to make its goal, they will send you an email. And in that email, it will have a link. Well, first it will say, hey, we noticed your campaign isn't selling quite as well as you had hoped. We're not sure it's going to meet your chosen goal. If you click the link below, we will lower your goal to whatever X number of shirts that will make your shirt go to print. Okay, they'll actually put the number in there for you, and you can click that link. Okay. Now, when you get an email like that, it's natural to kind of panic a little bit and go, oh man, I better do that. Don't do it. Be brave. Don't click the link, okay? Because the second you click the link, they don't give you a confirm or anything like that. It automatically lowers your shirt goal to that number, all right? The cool thing is that since it's automatic, you can wait till the last possible minute of your campaign and only click it if you need to. The other cool thing is as your sales increase, let's say your goal is 50. They sent you an email when you had sold 10 shirts saying, hey, we can lower your goal to 10 because we don't think it's going to make it. And you don't click it. And then over the next 3 days, you sell 20 more shirts for a total of 30, but you're still 20 away from your goal. They'll send you another email saying, hey, we still don't think you're going to make it, but we can lower your goal to 30. Click this button. At that point, maybe it's like, okay, I'm going to click it because I'll sell 30 shirts, and I'll still make some money. And doing that, instead of only getting calculated profit for the 10 shirts, your profit is now calculated based off of 30 shirts. So you made a lot more money, okay? This can be the difference between 50 cents, $1, or more per shirt in profit. So when you get that email, be brave and don't click it, okay? You don't have to click it right when you get it, all right?